ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get started with this meeting of the West Valley Water District Board of Directors. We will begin with the roll call of board members.
Director Moore,
Here.
Director Bennett,
Here.
Director Garcia,
Present.
Vice President Jenkins,
Present.
President Young.
Present.
We have a quorum. Thank you.
Excellent. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance by Director Garcia and the prayer by Director Moore. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father God, we come before you, thanking you for this day. Thank you for waking us up this morning. We thank you for getting us safe, Lord. We ask today, Father God, that you pray this meeting, God, your presence. Lead us and guide us today, Father. Ask that you would touch those sick today, those who have worries and concerns, Lord, you said to bring them to you. Lord, bring them all to you today, Father God. Presence and bless those, Father God, who are homeless today. Bless those, Father God, who are schools being threatened, things that are going on in the district. Bless you for it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. All right, so next up we have the closed session items. We'll do public comment for closed session items.
Members of the public may participate and give public comment in one of these ways: in person at West Valley Water District's boardroom located in person at 855 West Baseline Road in Rialto, California, by filling out a public comment card and submitting it to the board secretary; by joining the Zoom meeting with access code 840-293-7790, or by telephone by calling 888-475-4499 with that same access code, or by email to administration@wvwd.org.
All right, have we received any requests for public comment on closed session items?
We have not.
Okay, seeing no members of the public in person, if there's anyone on the Zoom who would like to speak on closed session items, please raise your hand or unmute yourself at this time. All right, seeing no one, we're going to go ahead and close public participation on closed session, and we will adjourn into closed session. Thank you.
Hello, Pastor Marlon, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I'm so sorry. I hadn't seen that you were on. When we opened up the meeting, you weren't on, so
Uh-huh.
we proceeded. You're welcome to stay on
Okay.
the meeting, and I can let them know you're on, but I don't know how long they're going to be in closed session.
Yeah, I was on, but I have a problem with my Wi-Fi here, and I was on, and it kept saying wait. You know, I apologize for that.
Yeah, no, no worries. I just don't want to have you waiting. I wanted to let you know you don't have to stay, but you're welcome to.
Okay. Thank you. I'll just exit and I'll join you on 2 weeks from now.
Okay, have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
All right, we are back from closed session. We'll have the report out from closed session from legal.
Yes, Mr. President, the board met in closed session on items 1 and 2, and there was no reportable action pursuant to the Brown Act.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so next up, board, we have the adoption of the agenda. There is one small correction which we're asking for to move number 4 from the consent calendar to the business for a staff report. So if there's no other changes, I'll entertain a motion on the amended agenda.
I motion that we adopt the amended agenda.
Okay, I have a first. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. If there's no discussion, we'll call the roll.
Director Moore?
Here.
Yes.
Aye, sorry.
Director Bennett?
Yes.
Director Garcia?
Yes.
Vice President Jenkins?
Yes.
President Young?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay. All right, next up, public participation.
Any person wishing to make public comment may participate and give public comment in one of these ways: in person at West Valley Water District's boardroom located at 855 West Baseline Road in Rialto, California, by filling out a public comment card; by joining the Zoom meeting with access code 840-293-7790, or by telephone by calling 888-475-4494 with that same access code, or by email to administration@wvwd.org.
All right, do we have any requests for public comment?
We do not.
Okay, if anyone on the Zoom call would like to speak for the public comment period, please indicate so by raising your hand and unmuting yourself at this time. All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close public participation. We have no presentations for this evening, so that will take us to the consent calendar. And so on the consent calendar, we'll have 3 items. Item 3. If there's no request for separate consideration, we'll entertain a motion on the balance.
I motion that we we approve the consent calendar as delivered.
Okay, do we have a first? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. If there's
Director
no
Moore?
discussion, go ahead.
Director Moore?
Aye.
Director Bennett?
Yes.
Director Garcia?
Yes.
Vice President Jenkins?
Yes.
President Young?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, so now that'll take us to the business items. So business matter number 1.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board. Today we have John Wright from our financial consultant, Raf Tellis, to present the final completed report on the comprehensive cost of service rate structure study for us all. John, you want to take it away?
And I'm sorry, Jose, just to mention, my partner, Luffy Karuf, is also on the Zoom in case there's any legal questions.
Apologize for that.
Thanks.
Good evening. I hope that you can all hear me. Can you?
Yes.
Fantastic. Jose, you're running the slideshow tonight. This is sort of the conclusion, or at least getting to a request that is getting us near the conclusion of our comprehensive cost of service and rate structure study. Next slide, please. So on tonight's agenda is just an overview of the financial plan recommendation. And we had shown you the financial plan in July, and then an overview of proposed FY26 through FY 2030 rates, which we also discussed in detail with the board in July. Then 2 formal action items. One is to have the board approve the issuance of the Proposition 218 notice, which is necessary in order to go through the process of making rates effective. And then to authorize staff to call a Proposition 218 hearing, and your legal counsel can discuss more of these action items in more detail and more intelligently than I probably can. Next slide, please. Go on, Jose. Next slide, please. There we go. We've been at this for quite a while. We actually started this project in January 2023, and during that time, we've presented to the Finance Committee and had 3 board workshops. And the first 2 board workshops were primarily related to overall financial planning issues. In July, we met with you in a fairly long and detailed workshop. You didn't take any formal action in July, but what you did do was provide your opinion on the selection of your preferred financial plan. And also, you gave approval informally of the proposed rate structure modification that staff and Raftellus are recommending. And then finally, you gave approval of the proposed FY26 to 2030 rates. And once again, that was informal. Next slide, please, Jose. So in July, we presented you with 3 financial planning scenarios. And those financial planning scenarios were primarily differentiated by capital spending associated with your operations and administration facilities. And the first scenario, which was not the board's preferred, was to spend $7 million making upgrades. The second scenario was to spend $20 million on an operations building. And those 2 scenarios did not include any proposed external debt financing. Scenario 3, which is what the board's preference was last month, was to spend $70 million on a new headquarters building. And that would be partially financed with $50 million of external debt financing. Next slide, Jose. So it was called Scenario 3 in July, so we're just keeping that nomenclature the same here in this presentation. And what the scenario would entail would be, number 1, annual rate revenue increases, which we'll present on the next slide. Total CIP expenditures over the 10-year planning horizon of $243 million. It would include a new headquarters building, which would, right now, the estimated cost is $70 million, and then it would include the $50 million in proposed debt financing to help pay for it. And so what you can see on this bar graph is that the capital expenditures are projected to be the highest under this plan in 29 and 2030 as we construct our new headquarters building. Next slide, please, Jose. So here's an outline under this scenario of what the proposed annual rate revenue adjustments would be. Now, these are total water and utility rate revenue adjustments. Customer bills may be more or less than 7.5%, but what we're projecting is that we would need 5 years of 7.5% annual rate revenue increases. We would have $50 million in external debt financing in 2029. And then in the second half of the planning horizon, the projection is annual rate revenue increases of 4.5%. And so one of the reasons that my firm feels that this is a good plan is because when we look at the right side of this slide, you'll see a couple things. You'll see that under every year in the planning horizon, we're meeting our target balance for both operating and capital cash reserves. Secondarily, down in the bottom right of the slide, you'll see that we are in a situation where, with the exception of 1 year, which is in FY29, that we are achieving a level of projected debt service coverage that exceeds our target. So it is somewhat of a tribute to the situation that the district's in, that you can make a major capital investment and access the external debt financing markets and still be in a position to meet both your cash reserve targets and, with the exception of 1 year where you dip a little bit below, meet your debt service coverage targets, and do all that with basically single-digit rate revenue increases annually. Next slide, please, Jose. So as an outcome of the financial planning process is a determination of the annual amount of rate revenues we need to collect from customers. And in our rate study analysis that we performed for you, we looked at FY26, and these rates would be going into effect if adopted in January, which is still part of FY26. We looked at all of the cost allocations necessary to develop rates, both your fixed monthly service charges as well as your variable commodity rates. And you can see the outcome of the cost of service analysis for monthly service charges. And the percentage changes on the far right of this table are something that we want to discuss with you, just as we did in the meeting last July. You can see that for 5/8 and 3/4 inch customers, there is an increase of 7.2%. No change on 1 inch. And then as we move into the higher meter sizes, especially the 3, 4, 6, and 8 inch meters, there is a significant percentage increase. And the reason for this is that the district's current monthly service charges, especially at your larger meter sizes, we don't believe really capture the capacity requirements that could be imposed by a large meter on your system. So regardless of the meter size, anytime somebody opens up a connection full bore, the system has to be able to respond and provide water as demanded. And when you look at your larger meter sizes, they have significantly higher flow rates than your smaller meter sizes. And so the current pricing, for example, on an 8 inch connection, you only get to $261. And the way these charges are designed is by looking at the flow rates at each meter size and allocating costs to each meter size based on those flow rates. And that's why you see the increases shown for the larger meters over in the right-hand column. Next slide, please, Jose. You also offer private fire line service. And this is a look at the current and proposed private fire line rates or charges. And somewhat the same as meters, the way private fire line charges are developed is based on the hydraulic capacity at each pipe size. And so what we've done is we've developed rates and allocated costs based on the flow that can occur on each pipe size using an industry standard equation. So that's why at some of the larger private fire line sizes, you also see some fairly significant increases. Next slide, please, Jose. And one of the things that we have recommended to the board is a modification in the consumption thresholds existing with your current rate structure. So let's talk about your current commodity rate structure and what is not changing or not proposed to change. We're not changing the fact that you have 3 tiers. And we're also not proposing to change the fact that right now all customers, regardless of land use type, pay the same rates under this rate structure. So you are not a water utility that has, for example, a separate single family residential rate structure or a separate commercial rate structure. So we're maintaining that approach. What we have recommended is a modification in the consumption thresholds associated with Tier 2 and 3. Currently, the Tier 2 consumption thresholds are from 11 to 50 HCF, and HCF is 100 cubic feet. And then Tier 3 is above 50. What we have recommended is a move to 11 through 30 HCF in Tier 2, and then Tier 3 beginning at greater than 30. And we feel that these proposed or recommended consumption thresholds are better aligned with the water supply costs that the district incurs, and you have a very diverse portfolio of water supply sources. And we also think that the recommended changes are in better alignment with this consumption characteristics of single-family residential customers. And you are a single-family residential dominated system. Next slide, please, Jose. So here is a look at proposed FY26 usage rates. And what you'll see in column 2 under consumption per NHCF are the proposed consumption tiers. And then we show the, what are the current, the proposed consumption tiers. And next to that is your current rates. Now, these current rates are under the old tier structure of 11 to 50 and greater than 50. Then we show proposed and the percentage change. One thing that's interesting about this is if you look at the Tier 1 rate of $2.33 per HCF, which is proposed, that's equivalent to $3.11 per 1,000 gallons, or approximately either 1/100th or 1,000th of a cents per gallon. And it shows you the fact that in my opinion, the cost of water is very, very reasonable when you break it down to something like a per gallon or per CCF basis. Next slide, please. Okay, a quick look at customer bill impacts. And so what we've done here is we've looked at a single-family residential customer using 17 HCF. And 17 HCF is the monthly average on your system. And for a customer using that amount, what you would see is a $5.29 per month increase. For a customer using 21 HCF, which is the average summer consumption for a single-family residential customer, the bill change is $6.25. Next slide, please, Jose. So something that's really, really important is to ask ourselves the question, how do your current rates and the rates that we're seeking to have you issue a Prop 218 notice for, how do they compare to adjacent communities? And, as we look at this bar graph, what we see is that of the cities that were included in the survey, the bill for a customer using 17 HCF per month with a 3/4 inch meter is the second lowest. And then when we look at West Valley Water District under what the bill would be for proposed rates, you move slightly up into the middle of the pack. But one thing that's very, very important to note about this comparison of bills is, and I need Jose to jump in here if he needs to, is I think the bill calculations for all of these other utilities in their survey don't yet reflect any changes in rates that these utilities themselves may be making in FY26. And so we're comparing proposed FY26 and what the outcome is for the district versus the current FY25 rates for all of the other utilities in this comparison.
You're correct, John, on that assessment. And the agencies that are to the left of the proposed West Valley Water bar, they're at the end of their current rate study, so they'll probably be looking into doing one shortly. So I'm proud to say that we continue to still be lower in the region and conservative, and the rates are still good for the customers.
And can I just ask a question, Jose? Because I know that there was some, I won't say who, but there were some out there in the world who raised questions of where we got our data for this. Can you maybe just elaborate how we came up with this table?
Definitely. We surveyed the agencies around our area. Basically, we went to their websites, to their transparent web pages, and got their latest rate studies. And we basically calculated the service charge and the usage, and that's how we calculated the bill impact or monthly bill.
Okay, so we basically used their own published rates and then applied the 1,700 cubic feet for that.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Next slide, please, Jose. So here we're looking at the bill impacts for a customer. It's a single-family residential customer with a 1-inch meter. You can see at the 17 HCF and the 21 HCF monthly consumption that the dollar change is just a little bit less than what we noted for a single-family residential customer with a 3/4 inch meter a couple of slides ago. And that's because under the calculated rates, going through the process of allocating costs based on demand characteristics, that we did not have an increase in the monthly service charge for a 1-inch meter. We did have an increase for a 3/4 inch meter. So that's why the dollar change is just a little bit lower. Next slide, please, Jose. And then here we look at the comparison once again to the utilities that Jose and his team surveyed for us. And we can see that currently West Valley Water District is next to last. And under the proposed rates, you see us only moving up one level higher, still very, very low on the comparison. And once again, this is proposed FY26 against current FY25 before all these other utilities increase their rates. Next slide, please, Jose.
Hold on, we have a question. Go ahead.
John, can you please elaborate? What is the asterisk on City of Redlands?
I apologize. I do not know that answer. Jose might.
Yes. So we put an asterisk because City of Redlands does a bi-monthly. So we had to do the calculation for a monthly bill because they bill their customers bi-monthly.
That's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
And I think this is our last comparison. And this is for a commercial customer with a 2-inch meter. And basically, we looked at, first off, 115 HCF per month. And that's the average usage of a commercial customer on your system who has a 2-inch meter. And then we also looked at 210 HCF, which is the high monthly consumption for customers with a 2-inch meter. One of the things that you can see in this bill comparison is over on the far right in the percentage change column, you see 13.1% and 11%. And that's higher than what you've been seeing for single-family residential in the previous slides. Well, the reason for a little bit higher increase is because, as discussed several slides ago, we have calculated monthly service charges based on the flow capacity of meters, which is a industry standard way of allocating costs. And we do have our larger meter sizes going up more than the smaller meter sizes that serve single-family residential. Next slide, please, Jose. So, depending on your preference, we could have a Proposition 218 notice issued for and I want Lutfi and the district's legal counsel to jump in on this and speak more artfully, but we could have a Proposition 218 notice for a total of 5 years. And what you're seeing here is a 5-year rate projection of monthly service charges. And so in the column that's labeled January FY26, well, in FY26, we're projecting a 7.5% revenue increase. We allocated those FY26 costs based on a really comprehensive cost of service analysis. And we get the proposed meter charges you see there in the July FY26 column. Then what's shown for 27 through 2030 is we take those FY26 rates that come out of the fresh new cost of service analysis, and we increase them each year by the overall financial planning increase, which happens to be 7.5% each year. Next slide, please, Jose. Similar thing done for private fire lines. And then it's, Jose, on the next slide, I think we'll see our commodity rates. And on this slide, we try to make it maybe a little bit more detailed so that you can maybe compare these current tiers versus the proposed. So in gray, we're showing the existing or current tiers, 0 to 10, 11 to 50, and greater than 50, and what those current rates are. And then what we've shown in the green column that's labeled proposed tiers is what we're recommending as your new tier consumption thresholds. January 26 is an outcome of the cost allocation process, the cost of service analysis, and then projected forward based on the financial planning increases are usage rates through 2030. Next slide, please, Jose. Yeah, one more. There we go. So tonight, we're asking you to take formal action, which is to approve the issuance of the Prop 218 notice. And second, to authorize staff to call a Proposition 218 public hearing. And is currently scheduled, that public hearing would take place on December 4th. I think that concludes my part of the presentation.
Right. Any questions for John? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. After 2030, what's the additional rate increase will be on top of the?
Yes, sir. For the second half of the planning horizon, beginning in 2031, the annual total system rate revenue increase is 4.5%.
No, that's not what you're approving, though, right?
No, sir.
Yeah, so we're only
You're
approving the
correct.
next 5
Yeah.
years, correct?
Yes, sir.
So
Right.
we would need to do another cost of, for the next 5 years, but
Yes.
they're anticipating that we would probably have to raise it X amount, but that's a 5-year estimate out. So we would need to do a new,
Would that require Proposition 218?
yes.
That's correct. If I may, so to answer your question directly, if the board doesn't approve another rate study or another increase, it would be the remaining of what the rates are for 2030.
Right.
Yeah, so those would just get locked in.
It would just continue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Any other questions? Nope. Well, thank you so much, John. We sure do appreciate it. I know it's been a lot of work to get us to this place, and I'll entertain a motion to approve the issuance of the Prop 218 notice and public hearing.
I motion that we approve the issuance of Prop 218 notice.
Okay, we have a first. Do we
Oh,
have
I'm
a second?
sorry. Approve the issuance of the 218 notice and authorize staff to call a Prop 218 public hearing.
So noted. Yes.
Yes. Right. We have a first. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any discussion? Okay, if not, we'll call the roll.
Director Moore?
Aye.
Director Bennett?
Yes.
Director Garcia?
Yes.
Vice President Jenkins?
Yes.
President Young?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, so next up we have Works annual membership renewal.
Good evening, President and Board. This item is before you because it has been discussed with our HR committee. As you know, you are a member of the IE Works program, and we are included in the group, and the membership is up and due. So we are bringing this forward because we need a direction from the board in terms of how we will handle this year's membership fee renewal for 2025-26. I'll give you a little bit of background and history in terms of where this program is at and what it's done for the agency in its years of established practice with us. We have hired we have put through the internship program a number of individuals, and 3 of those individuals have successfully been employed by the West Valley Water District. Currently, there is no program in place because of funding situations that occurred with the new administration, but the IE Works administrators have been working diligently to look for grant opportunities to establish that program. So tonight, we are requesting direction from the board in terms of how they would want to handle the membership fees for 2025-26, understanding that there is no program in place per se for this particular time, but the membership as a founding member is something that needs to be considered. So with that, I conclude my report to you.
Okay. Any comments from our HR committee on this one?
Yeah, I think we've had a good relationship with IE Works, and we started off at the beginning with them. And they're going through a rough spot. I don't think it's the time to back out of it. I think we should support them and help them through this and help ourselves as well.
Okay. Anything to add to that? Or no? Okay. All right. Well, what's the board's pleasure or thoughts on this?
I have a
one?
question. So you said that currently there is no program, that there is no either document saying this is what IE Works is?
Correct. So in the past, we've had a structured program that allows the agency to participate in their internship program, and we would put individuals participating in the program through this program. Because of funding that has been stripped with the new administration, there is no established program. But
So
like I said, they're looking for grant opportunities, and that we won't know the effects of those grants until 2026.
So you're asking us to fund a non-functioning program and with no direct, clear goals or reaches because they're still in the process of creating it?
Yes, so what we discussed in the HR committee is because we're a founding member, it is recommended that we continue as a member just out of a good faith effort to support them. But again, that's a board policy decision, and we're just bringing this information forward.
And how much would this good faith cost the water district?
The membership fee is $6,000.
So I think that part of the confusion is there's no dollar amount to approve. I think you're looking for some direction to help support the effort to get to a point where there is a dollar amount to bring to the board.
There is the $6,000 is the fee to be a member of IE Works.
Still? That's
Still.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any other questions?
I think for clarification on this, you're correct. They don't have any grant money, but they are seeking additional members right now as part of the program.
Yes, so they have endeavored to seek other agencies to become part of the IE Works membership. They have been given until this month, meaning the consultants, to come back with a list of members that have interest or will become a member shortly.
And do we know, as far as the existing membership, how many of them are continuing to stay with it?
So there's 4 members for agency members that are currently still involved.
Okay.
Who have paid this renewal of $6,000?
That I do not know. Again, in our last meeting, it was asked what we would get in return, and they quite honestly said they're just trying to maintain the program for now until they get these grant responses to see if there will be a program that they could provide to us in 2026.
I believe IE Works has been a good partner with us, and we've worked pretty well with them. But my concern would be that if we're giving money to a program that doesn't exist, where the district's not getting anything in return, and does that align with our agency?
Yeah, so the worst case is we're the only district that pays an annual membership fee of $6,000. So IU Works would then have $6,000 to try to go do all the things they're going to do throughout the year, right? I mean, that's the worst case scenario.
That's correct.
So you're asking the board if they're willing to do that, I guess. Am I missing something? I mean,
So, again, in these meetings, the members that are still participating are having these very difficult conversations. They do go back to, we have to come back to our boards and report what we're being told this program is doing. The difficult part is that the funding was stripped when the new administration came on board. So it disadvantaged the program because there was a program in place, but then when administration said, hey, there's no more grant funding for this, they really didn't have any contingency plan to move this program forward. So they've been scrambling literally the entire year trying to seek grant opportunities. But because there's other mechanisms that hinder the IE Works program from moving forward for various reasons, it just continues to kind of fester into the future to see, well, maybe we can get this grant opportunity. And the members understand that it's very difficult to, as you stated, pay for a membership in which we're not getting anything in return. So the consensus is, can the agency weather another year, hoping that in April of 2026, there will be a program in place? So as your staff, I'm just seeking direction. I'm not asking
Yeah.
for participation. I'm just asking the policy decision makers to make a decision in terms of how they want to proceed.
So with that 6,000, we will get something, but it would just be a limited amount?
At this point, we don't know if we would get anything. You're just continuing as a member,
Yes.
hoping that a program will be in place if one of the grants are awarded to IE Works.
But potentially then it could be spent and we get nothing out of it?
So if they don't get any grants and
In
they can't
April?
establish a program, then you just potentially donated $6,000.
Well, I think we all have appreciated the great work that the program was when it was had the funding. But yeah, I think there's pros and cons to either direction at this point. But so what does the board want to do?
Well, as part of the continued discussion, the HR committee recommended that we continue the membership. As part of the External Affairs Committee chairperson, I see the efforts that they're making to get grant money. We were founding partners for this, for IE Works that brought in interns into our, to West Valley that have currently, are they still here or did they become permanent? Like,
They're 3 full-time employees.
okay.
And are we working internally right now to create our own program?
Yes. So
Would that be in conflict
It would be a separate program
Be
because we're
separate.
targeting the high school,
schoolers.
high schools to participate in our internship program. And then we currently have 1,000-hour workers that are also brought in for support and eventually have the opportunity to enter into a full-time employment opportunity when available.
Considering, you know, the efforts that I've seen, the new, I think there's a new board member there that is, because one went to Spain, right? And so they're trying to reorganize and try to get new funding. I support the renewal of the membership to continue for them to be able to get the grant money. So I'll make a motion to support the annual membership fee.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any further discussion?
Would it be in the board's best interest to maybe table this for another date to have maybe a representative of IE Works give us maybe a presentation of where they're at as an agency or as a group?
That would be the pleasure of the board.
Well, we do have a motion on the table, unless you want to make that as a substitute motion.
As I motion as a substitute motion.
Okay, do we have a first? Do we have a second to table it? All right, so the original motion stands. So if there's no other discussion, we'll call the roll.
Director Moore?
Yes.
Director Bennett?
Yes.
Director Garcia?
Yes.
Vice President Jenkins?
Yes.
President Young?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, so next up we have the holiday closure, item 3.
Okay, this item is before you. We took it to the HR committee and discussed it at length. And as the staff report reads, in recent years, you have approved holiday closures of the district's normal business operations during the time of Christmas Eve and New Year's Day. This year, staff is recommending that we have the holiday closure from December 24th to January 1st, and the business days that we would be closed would be December 26th, which is a Friday, the 29th, and the 30th, which is a Monday and Tuesday. Staff looked at the impact of staffing levels, and for those that have the Fridays and Mondays off, it would equally have those staff members have 2 days of closure. So it works out very nicely for staff in terms of treating everybody fair and equitable. And it also provides staff an opportunity to spend time with their families during the holiday period while providing business continuity. There's no interruption to ratepayers. We don't conduct any shutoffs. We don't affect the ratepayers, and we go back to normal once the festivities have concluded.
Could we get a calendar up so we can visualize this?
Albert, the calendar we have is not for December. Can you pull up maybe like the computer calendar?
Maybe easier to look on your phone. I don't know if we have one ready.
Haiti, would you repeat those days? Are you asking for the holiday closure between the 24th and the 1st?
So the days that we are requesting for closure that are not holidays are the 26th, the 29th, and the 30th.
Okay. But the 24th and 25th is already a set closure, and the 31st and the 1st is a set?
And the 1st. So those are
Okay.
approved holidays.
Additional 3 days. Okay. Thank you.
And then just for board's information, this does not have a financial impact. And the reason for that is you've already established your salaries for fiscal year 25-26. The closure days do not impose any other costs. It's just closure, and those days are paid as if the person were here. So there is no financial impact.
Well, I've heard enough. I think that's a good idea, frankly. I motion that we have a holiday closure affecting those 3 dates of the 26th, 29th, and 30th for the staff.
All right, we have a first. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, just another clarification. On the 22nd, no, I'm sorry, on the 29th, so will the front office be closed?
Yeah, so for those 3 days that we're recommending closure, no staff will be present. Your operations would have on-call, and there'll be no shut-offs happening during that week. So in essence, it's a dark week, but we still have on-call people to provide services if needed.
Okay.
Okay. If there's no more discussion, we'll call the roll.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bennett,
Yes.
Director Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Jenkins,
Yes.
President Young.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, and then the last item, the amendment for reimbursement agreement with San Bernardino Valley Municipal Water District.
Good evening, President Yan and members of the board. So this item is to renew our annual reimbursement agreement with San Bernardino Valley Municipal Water District. West Valley commissioned the FBL in September 2016 to treat high levels of perchlorate for portable use. The contaminated groundwater has spread from the 160-acre areas to over 6 miles to the south and to the east. Since 1940, the site has been used by a variety of parties who use the perchloric salts. Our first firm, Amhart, partners with City of Rialto using ion exchange to clean the upper portions of the plume. The second firm, Raytheon, partners with West Valley using the FBL to clean the bottom portion of the plume. When the treated water is meeting drinking water standards, we send to our customers. But when it doesn't, we discharge into Cactus Basin number 2, adjacent to the FBL after ion exchange treatment. So that's Cactus Basin number 2, and this is FBL plants. We have an agreement with flood control to use the basin. In return, we need to obtain a streambed alterations agreement with California Fish and Wildlife to perform maintenance activities to ensure the work is done in a way that protects the ecosystem and the species that inhabit the streambed. West Valley needed 12 acres of mitigation land to execute the agreement. Valley District has 85 acres of mitigation lands available and offered 12 acres to West Valley. It is located at Hidden Valley Wildlife Area in Riverside, where the yellow polygon is. This land, capital cost for the land, our portion is within the yellow polygon. West Valley will have to pay its share of annual operating costs totaling to about $50,000 a year. This agreement is to reimburse Valley District our share of the annual operating costs. Legal reviewed the agreement. Raytheon reimburses West Valley the cost. Staff recommends that the board approve this item. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for staff? It's pretty straightforward, but wanted everybody to be aware of the offset that we're doing with Valley District on this one. So, questions, we'll entertain the motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt an amendment to the reimbursement agreement with the San Bernardino Valley Municipal Water District.
I second that.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bennett,
Yes.
Director Garcia,
Yes.
Vice President Jenkins,
Yes.
President Young.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, so next up we have board committee reports. Do any board members have committee reports to give updates on this evening?
On the engineering committee, there was a few things to discuss. One was we met our season's water demand. Reservoir 2 is undergoing coating, and well 54 anticipating painting of equipment. That's it.
All right, any other reports?
For external affairs, we had updates on the Prop 218 outreach. Staff provided an update on the timeline and the strategy for the planned Prop 218 outreach, which will include workshops to be conducted at the district and out in the community. .gov website transition. There has been legislation requiring cities to move to a .gov domain, and there is a push to also require special districts to do the same. Staff will be working on an outreach plan for our future transition. Then we talked about branding guidelines. The committee reviewed the current proposed branding guidelines and discussed concepts for a secondary logo. Additional logo options will be presented at the next External Affairs Committee meeting for further feedback. We had Church and Associates provide updates on the possibility of a government shutdown and ongoing communication with the Bureau of Reclamation regarding our grant applications. And lastly, we had California Strategies provide updates on the California Air Resources Board, extending the requirement for half of our vehicle purchases be zero emission vehicles to be pushed to now 2030. They also directed staff to enhance the exemption pathways for public fleets. And additionally, we will be coordinating with CalStrat to discuss legislation proposals for 2026.
All right, thank you. Any other committee reports? All right, if not, board member reports. Does anyone have any reports they want to give or comments?
I'd like to mention that I took my family to Petapalooza in Rialto, which is a nice event. They did put on a really great show. I went to 4, I guess, of our water value of water workshops, and I was there. And yesterday happened to be the Bloomington MAC, which went a little bit later. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is my buddy here, Greg Young, will have a birthday, October the 9th, and I hope everyone remember him. And since we don't have another meeting till a little bit beyond, I want to mention that my daughter, Isabella, will turn 4 October the 11th, or 4 October 11th. She can count better than me. And that's all I want to report.
All right, anyone else have anything?
I do want to report that I did attend the State Water Project Tour on Wednesday through Friday, and it's an exceptional tour. I mean, Valley District did an exceptional job, and it gave me an opportunity to spend time with Sergio here at the district and Director Velasquez, and it's a tour that makes you understand the necessity of really the Delta project and the conveyance project and how important it is. It was just a very informative trip. And on the 27th, I attended the groundbreaking ceremony for the Bloomington Alleyway Replacement Project Phase 3C with Joe Baca Sr. being there with the district. Very excited to see that project begin. And that is it.
Anything from either of you tonight?
I attended the Chamber of Commerce Gala in Fontana. It was very eventful, enjoyable, and had a good time.
Anything from you tonight, Kelvin?
Yeah, I wasn't here last meeting because I attended the Distinguished Man of the Year, which I was honored. So that was nice with Eloise Reyes and group. Rialto Unified School District, attended their meetings. We had a well untapped legislative water workshop on the 20th, and did the value of water for Fontana and for Rialto. I also attended the council and did the Bloomington Alleyway groundbreaking in the Chamber of Commerce Gala, and also the Sound of Recovery, which, you know, last month was Recovery Month and also Suicide Prevention Month. And not West Valley, but Valley College sponsors this event where they take the folks that were once addicted to drugs, they write down their story and put it to paper, and then the students put it into a poem, and then the musicians find music for it. And so we got to hear songs about these victors over drug addiction. It was really, really touching and very pivotal. We had some great musicians that were there as well. So that was cool. I did attend Club Stage Red, the Fontana, used to be the Candlelight Theater or something. It was a center stage. It's revamped. It's the Sam Hager Theater now. Very nice to go in there. It's very nice. And saw a violinist named DeMalo, who's a all genre violinist. And External Affairs, we had that meeting, of course. And that is it for me.
Okay. All right. Well, I do want to just say congratulations on your achievement there as Man of the Year. Well deserved. I also joined my colleagues at the groundbreaking with Supervisor Baca, and we do want to extend our great gratitude to him for his help in funding the Bloomington Alleyway project. It's so wonderful to actually have that finally happen, and I'm super excited to see it actually put into effect, with only one more phase left to go, which hopefully won't be too far down the road. Also attended the chamber event, which was a lovely evening, and the president of the chamber thanked us for attending and for being there, and it was a great event. On a personal side, I just want to thank everyone for your well wishes for my grandfather's recovery. He's doing a lot better now, so I'm very grateful for that. It's been a much better week than it has been for the month prior. So just a little bit each day, he's getting better. So I'm extremely blessed and thankful for that. So thank you for everyone who's inquired on how he's doing. I really appreciate it. All right, next up, General Manager's report from our Assistant General Manager, Linda, tonight.
Thank you, President Young. Just some updates on 5 recruitments. Customer Service Representative 3 is under management evaluation. Project Manager, the candidate is completing background process and is anticipated to start on October 27th. Support Services Supervisor, second interviews are scheduled for October 6th with 3 candidates. Field Assistant 1,000-hour position is currently going through the requisition process. And the Chief Water Systems Operator production under management evaluation for how the department will be structured. And then I have some other updates. On September 23rd, I also attended the Fontana City Council meeting where John presented on the value of water. And later that day, I gave the value of water presentation at the City of Rialto Council meeting. Both councils expressed appreciation for West Valley staff and board members for attending their meeting. This past Tuesday, we had an employee benefit fair here at the boardroom. Several of our carriers were present, providing information to staff and giveaways and answered questions. Later that day, I attended the Cactus Basin Technical Advisory Group at Valley District, where we discussed recharge potential and previous basin modeling efforts that could be utilized to assess 7,000 acre feet of annual recharge. Yesterday, I also attended the Bloomington MAC meeting where I presented on the value of water and provided information on the various capital improvement projects that the district is currently undertaking. I also have one other item. I'm very proud and excited to inform you that earlier today, the POGA Public Outreach and Government Affairs Department received first place at the California Public Information Officials Star Award for the new video series titled Water Service Community.
That is awesome.
The STARS Award recognizes excellence in government video programming. POGA also took third place in the social media campaign for the video series. So
Nice.
Congratulations to the POGA team on their hard work and dedication. And thanks to all of the West Valley team members and their families who assisted in the creation of the video series.
Awesome. Congratulations. I think we're going to need to invest in a really big display case for all these awards the staff keep getting. So wonderful work.
And that's all I have. Thank you.
Any?
And I have no report times.
Okay.
Passage of time here. 8:30.
Thank you. All right. POGA.
I'll make mine quick. So, follow up with, I go the wrong way all the time. So, just a little photo from today from the team taking the awards earlier today. First place and third place. They were very excited. And with that, I also want to announce that we were notified yesterday that West Valley Water District is going to be recognized at the 60th anniversary Polaris Awards from the Public Relations Society of the Inland Empire for Halley H2O and Crete the Conservationist campaign. So we invite the board on November 13 from 6 to 9 for the gala, where we are one of the finalists under campaigns for community relations.
Awesome.
Is there a place where we can vote?
We already submitted our information, so we'll know then what place we get. Let's go the wrong way. Oh. And then I also, next week, is Water Professionals Appreciation Week. So we'll be having a campaign, social media campaign, recognizing our water pros. Additionally, with that, we also have Customer Service Week. We actually wanted to show a quick preview of a video that was created in-house by Isabel Medina, our Public Outreach and Government Affairs Rep 1, on customer service. Hopefully it plays.
Hi, I'm Maria.
I'm Adriana.
Hi, I'm Darnell.
Hi, I'm Claire. And I'm Danny. Customer service team. We are the first faces you see here at West Valley Water District. This is where we process your application for new water service and answer any and all questions that you may have.
We also process all incoming payments as well as take all phone calls that come into the district.
Enjoy some footage of us up here in customer service where we make it fun and exciting.
Thank you for calling West Valley Water District. This is Clarabelle. How can I help you? Thank you.
West Valley Water, speaking on It says West Valley Water District, but are you clicking on the new website?
Hey, you guys customer service is the best.
My name is Maria and I'm the customer service lead, and even though I'm behind the scenes, I'm making sure that our day runs smoothly, taking care of service orders or payments or any customer inquiries that may arise throughout the day.
Bye. Thanks for watching.
And with that, we'll be highlighting the teams next week.